Hello and welcome to CATSweek. I'm Annalise Poorman. At their meeting on December 11th, the Monroe County Board of Health discussed a partnership with HealthNet for the Homeless Initiative program. The initiative would help ensure that people experiencing homelessness receive long-term medical attention and a reduction in emergency room visits. Board President Stephen Pritchard began the discussion explaining why he would like to award them with $135,000 of the $155,000 that they asked for.
So as we start to consider the partnership agreement for the homeless initiative, my original suggestion, the one I sent out on the email, was that we funded at the 135,000 level. They were asking for 155 because they added in the 20,000 for other medical costs at the end. It really wasn't, I think they were hoping to get that, but it wasn't necessarily that they had an expectation that we would include all of that. And I think the only way we could include it would be if we had statistics showing how effective this program is. And then the second thing is, once we have that information, to ask IU Health to partner in this program and contribute at least some level below what they're saving. And we would have statistics then to show that. I hope I've summed that up well enough. So,
Board member Don DiOrio expressed concern with the data collection and said HealthNet needs to obtain an accurate count of the number of individuals that they have served in order to secure more partnerships moving forward.
The data was really my only concern with this whole thing. And even reading the contract, I still wonder if we want to consider changes, because quarterly reporting metrics they list several, but the one that concerns me, of those seen by Homeless Initiative team, compare with visits to IU Health ED if IU Health is able to collaborate. I feel like it is so important that we have actual numbers.
Mhm.
Historically, as you said, they can get now of how many homeless people they see between those hours, so that we can show the public we spent this money, it's making a difference. Number one, here we can quantify the difference it's making. But number two, as you just said, to be able to have IU Health partner financially. So I don't know how we do that without requiring a quarterly report showing IU's not only the people that they're seeing, but what IU is not seeing, hopefully.
Health Department Administrator Lori Kelly responded and shared her insight on the new data analyst.
I attended the meeting that they had virtually with the new data analyst, and they were going through that. So, I mean, I feel pretty confident he's going to do a great job pulling that information and tracking it.
Pritchard spoke in support of the agreement, saying that this is a form of outreach that they've been wanting to do.
they can actually target people that are showing up in the emergency room and target those people early, because now they'll have identifying information and they can identify them for treatment early on before they ever get to the emergency room. I feel like it's money well spent. Plus, one of the things that I feel like we need to do or have needed to do is do more outreach. And I feel like this is exactly the kind of thing that we want to do. It's providing access to care to people that do not have it in a different way, in a way that we hope is going to be more effective than just going for an emergency visit, which usually doesn't really solve any kind of long-term problems.
Board member Sarah Ryderband also said that she wanted more statistics on the program. The board voted unanimously to approve the HealthNet Homeless Initiative program. Later in the meeting, the board approved the resignation of Monroe County Health Officer Clark Britton. Pritchard summarized Britton's reasoning for joining the position and for resigning.
When he took the job initially, he accepted it on a practically an emergency basis.
Practically?
Well, Dr. Sharp, it became apparent that Dr. Sharp, who Dr. Sharp had served the department well for many, many years, and there were some changes taking place in his health, and also he didn't have a DEA number, which we were struggling with the max care billing. So Dr. Britton kindly accepted that position, and I think he really didn't really understand. Well, I'm sure he didn't understand exactly
What the expectation?
what the expectations are. Well, I know he didn't because, and I'll take some of the responsibility for that. We probably didn't spell out in detail exactly what we needed him to do, but he had very graciously continued in the job, even though he was being pulled back towards his practice and other activities. So, Dr. Britton, thank you very much for your service. Thanks for your support.
The board nominated board member Sarah Ryderband for the position. The Monroe County Commissioners will have to approve the position. The Bloomington City Council met on Wednesday, December 11th. On the agenda was an ordinance to raise the salaries of elected officials, such as the mayor, the clerk, and city council members. According to the legislation, the ordinance would represent an approximate 66% increase in total salary expenditure for these selected offices. The original proposal to increase the city council's salary received pushback from the public and was rescinded. During public comment, city resident Chaz Gillespie spoke in support of increasing the wages for elected officials.
My name is Chaz Gillespie, and I live in Councilmember Piedmont Smith's district. Just want to say that I support council members and the clerk receiving a higher compensation. I think that public service right now is a pretty hard sell for a lot of folks, and a big reason why is the low level of compensation. I think a higher level of pay will lead to more people being interested in serving on council, and more people being interested in serving on council will lead to a greater diversity of representation on the council in terms of class, age, education level, and so forth. And this will lead to greater representation for Bloomington's people and improved governance overall. Thanks so much.
There were two proposed amendments to the ordinance. One amendment proposed by the council members Matt Flaherty and Kate Rosenbarger would increase their salaries by around 19 to 20% every year for 4 years to eventually reach a wage of $37,853 by the year 2028. The second amendment, proposed by council members Dave Rollo and Andy Ruff, was to increase the council salaries by 18%. Rollo outlined the differences in the proposals.
The former amendment has similar salaries for 2025, but lays out a schedule that I think commits or seeks to commit the mayor and the council to final amounts in 2028. As you saw presented before, that being an 80% increase of the council salary by 2028 and a 30% increase in the clerk's salary from the current pay, that following a 34% increase in the clerk's pay last year. This amendment, Amendment 2, is offered in the context that we are at year's end. We need to pass a salary ordinance, or we just revert to the previous year's salary. The mayor has set parameters that are understood by, I think, this council of what is required for her signature. I have consulted with the mayor's office, and I'm confident that Amendment 2 will be supported. There's also the context that we are working to raise our own salaries, which is seen by many as self-serving. And that perception does matter. That is, we are going to increase our pay in midterm instead of the end, which is when it's traditionally done. And so we should be cautious about that. What this amendment seeks to do is it follows on my rationale that I described last evening, which is at our special session. It replaces the proposed salary of the mayor, the clerk, and council members as proposed in Ordinance 2024-26 with modest increases. The mayor's salary is increased by cost of living adjustment that all city employees is extended to all city employees. The clerk's salary is a slight increase above the COLA of 3%, and it will increase from 87 to 90. And it does so because it recognizes that the clerk is still the highest paid clerk. This is the third highest paid clerk in the state and received a 22% increase last year. And it increases council pay from $21,150 to $25,000.
The council voted 8-1 to approve the amendment proposed by Rallo and Ruff, with Councilmember E. Sakasari voting no. The Bloomington City Council will recess for the holidays and meet again in 2025. The Monroe County Commissioners met on December 11th. Fleet and Building Manager Richard Kreider requested $6,800 to replace the light fixtures in the Monroe County Convention Center parking lot. The contract with Cassidy Electric also asked for an additional $36,700 to replace the light fixtures in the conference rooms of the convention center.
On the inside, if you're taking like the escalator and stuff, when it's dark, it's a safety issue again. And so I think this is good.
And again, a lot of the light fixtures, they're the older ballasted. They still use some of the T12 tube lights and that kind of thing. It's in need of an upgrade.
Next, presenter Jeffrey Hartman and the executive director of the Community Justice and Mediation Center, Liz Grenot, asked for funding for VORP services. These services are for adolescent clients who are going through rehabilitation and restorative justice services.
I wanted to read a quote to you from one of the teen participants because I think it's a really great, give everyone a great understanding of the impact of why this is important funding and the fact that you've continued to support this program for so long. So I'll start with reading it. This was a teenage person who said, "It's had a big impact on why I look at things the way I do now. I don't see why I had the idea of, oh, that's not mine, but it looks nice. It could be. It seems wild to me now that I saw it that way. Now I look back and I think that was definitely ignorant of me. Hearing the victim say to me that I was somebody who had been plotting and somebody who was trained at stealing and had done this for a long while, I didn't want to be looked at like that as a person. It kind of ruins your self-esteem. Oh, wow, you see me like that? Maybe I am like that. Maybe I need to change. I would definitely say I was on that path, and if I hadn't gotten caught and gone through this program, I could have ended up doing worse. I want to be seen that I'm not that person. I've changed and I'm better." And I think that's a pretty incredible thing for a teenager to come to that realization. So thank you so much. And I wanted to put a plug. Our training for our mediation, basic mediation and restorative justice training starts January 28th. You can go to our website, www.cjamcenter.org.
Next year will be CJAM's 30th anniversary. Commissioner Lee Jones expressed her appreciation for the continuation of important services and said she's proud to see what dedication and care can do for the community. On Monday, December 9th, the Ellettsville Town Council approved a zoning map amendment for the 242-acre Matson Farms and Technology Park, which will span between West Chaffin Chapel Road and State Road 46. Matson Farms and Technology Park, owned by Smithville CEO Darby McCarty, will include manufacturing, retail, and residential space. Chelsea Amos, president of Abrams Moss Design Group, said that the area will bring in a variety of technology-related businesses to the town.
We're looking to develop a combined use parcel that can allow for transition in homes from apartments, single-family, and larger estate, and give a community feel that people can kind of progress through in life. And also enhance the Ellettsville area.
Darby emphasized that the manufacturing aspect of the park will not be like traditional industry, rather serving as a think tank space that encourages innovation. She said that she hopes the technology park will welcome small groups who want to build a business.
We're not looking necessarily for any manufacturing. We just want a think tank type environment where people can come together and create ideas. And whether it's an AI or whatever it might be, we'll have the space available for them to think and create.
The council members approved the rezone unanimously. And that is all for CATSweek. Thank you for joining us. For CATS and WFHB, I'm Annalise Poorman.
for hurting families in Monroe County.
A contribution to children who are vulnerable and in need of an advocate.
A staff that goes above and beyond to support and advocate for children in need of services.
The web of remarkable people who are dealing with difficult situations.
So many young people that are in need of help and trying to find a stable family, a stable place to live. Without the CASAs to make that happen, many of them would be unable to find a good home.
I love being that voice for the child who can't speak for themselves in court.
It takes me out of my comfort zone, and it also helps others.
CASA means supporting our community.
Being a CASA is making sure that your village is healthy and whole, and that the children in your village will someday be able to help the village as well.
A child who doesn't have a voice, maybe in their family situation or a school situation, now has a voice that can advocate for them.
I really enjoy working with children that are going through difficult times and letting them know that I care about their future.
We are privileged with our charge of representing the best interest of children. And so therefore we can advocate for exactly what they need without restriction, focusing on their best interest.
I want to repair the world one child at a time.
Do you know that thousands of children go without school supplies every day? Teachers Warehouse is a 100% volunteer-powered organization. We service the educational and creative needs of students in Monroe, Brown, Greene, Lawrence, and Owen counties by distributing school supplies free to the teachers. Teachers Warehouse is composed of 7 rooms filled with books, pencils, paper, and even tools to motivate students. If it's in a classroom, we'll supply it. To donate new or gently used school supplies or volunteer, give us a call at 812-929-7522 or email us at contact@teacherswarehouse.net.